faster, I'm more secure than you'll ever be. I'm faster, I'm cheap, and my name is XRP. To the moon, yeah, I get everybody by surprise with my money. Everybody by surprise, XRP. Everybody by surprise, see it coming. Everybody gotta just wait and see. I get everybody by surprise with my money. Everybody by surprise, XRP.
Hi Manuel, hi Moorish King.
Everybody gotta just wait and see. Bank the unbanked, bank the unbanked, bank the unbanked now. Bank the unbanked, bank the unbanked, bank the unbanked now.
Hello Peter. Hello Gaurav. Hello DCY. Yes, I have read it and I have partially commented on it on a tweet already, but I will get into it. Hello Tony Matassa, never seen you before. Hello Mr. Luck. Hi Gio. Hi WK. He's a man of his word. Hi TF. Which word? Actually, the video before wasn't just yet the parody. That I will do tomorrow. I wanted to do it today, but there were other things coming up. Sorry. Hi Wicken, hi SVV. Hi Wolf Lower. Hi Doc Callum. In 15 seconds I will start, but just before that, it seems that most liked my promotional video to become iPinky's insider. Okay, hello everyone, let's get started. I don't have prepared much today. I wanna quickly go into this Flywheel thing, which actually even Brad Kimes made a video about it, but he basically totally didn't get it. I mean, that was, maybe the worst video he ever did. Danke. This Flywheel, sorry, concept is more or less just a concept to see where you are and how you can improve and what's missing to get this flywheel in motion so that it'll never stop. Previously, marketing people usually used this funnel. I have made a tweet about that, but there are other concepts when you need to do an analysis of something, like the SWOT analysis. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats. This is basically helpful when you want to see where you have a competitive advantage over your competitors, or in which area you need to improve in not to be kind of like overrun by your competitors. But there is other similar concepts, and this document Ripple published today wasn't about Ripple, it was about I think it was, do I still have it open? Hold on. The title was Blockchain in Payments, so in general. And those who have, I don't know if all those sessions from Swell have been put online on the Ripple YouTube site, But there was one session where they actually went over that document and explained it. It's just a document about the industry as such. It has literally nothing to do with Ripple, the company. The people being surveyed or questioned have come from different industries: payment aggregators, retail banking, money transmitter, digital banking. And they asked C-level executives, vice president or senior vice presidents, directors, senior managers. They asked through various company sizes from below $500,000 to more than 10 billion company size in revenue. So it's really just a market overview. It has nothing to do with XRP or anything. It's just kind of like a sentiment of how of how the market works. Basically, I forgot to say something in the beginning. I have no financial interests. I have no sponsored links, and I don't want no donations, please. And as a matter of fact, I really hope that I can make the full hour. My wife and me have been sick since last Saturday. We basically like dead flies. We have been more or less just lying around at home, leaving home just for some groceries and stuff. Anyway, so I really hope you do understand this flywheel. It's a global sentiment showing roughly where we are. Okay? But that doesn't neglect the bell curve I have published in my video from, I think it was last Sunday or last Saturday. That still can apply and will apply, because the normal distribution, this curve, this bell curve, is kind of how do you say, globally applicable, if you so want. Okay, that was one thing I wanted to quickly talk about, and maybe Peter has more questions about that. And I think also Butterfly Trader asked me about this flywheel, and that we're really way behind. And I mean, I still think we're not way behind. We're totally not way behind. And the other thing I quickly wanted to cover was that tweet from Jungle. Actually, it was from another guy, ISO_XRP. Here we go. SEC today. The new plumbing is here. Can't name the company. Crypto is here now. Well, if you listen to that, actually I could put that link into the description later on. Let me sorry. Put link to ISO_XRP tweet into the description. Basically, what was Jay Clayton, the guy from the SEC? You might have seen him in one or the other interviews before. He was basically talking about Libra, that he cannot talk about that project. And I mean, please don't FOMO that, because I mean, I told it to Manuel and many still don't understand it. Domestically, no XRP is needed. Please understand that. In the Euro zone, Tips and Target 2 will never use XRP. Why? It's not needed. For that we have the domestic real-time gross settlement systems, and the same will hold true for FedNow and all the other domestic real-time payment systems. XRP is really just for cross-border payments, and that's, I mean, that market is 5 trillion a day. CLS Bank settles 5 trillion daily in average. And actually CLS, I don't know if, actually CLS is one bank, but it's like a consortium of about 60 or more banks, the tier 1 banks in the world. And through that CLS bank, the current system, the Swift system, is basically doing its settlement of the payments today. I didn't reply to you, Peter. I made an unrelated tweet. Please check my last tweet. Silver server. If your question quantum computing. Sorry, I misread. I stuck on the word quantum because Sam IM is promoting the quantum financial system. Quantum computing isn't an existential threat to DLT and cryptography today. And the reason for that is, I explained it before already. I don't know if it was in a live stream. Quantum computing is really powerful when it comes to analyzing dynamics. I don't know. I give you an example. How many people in the movie theater tonight wear glasses? And so the computer is taking a face picture of every visitor getting into the movie theater, figuring out does he wear glasses or not. And after about, 10% of the visitors coming in, the computer might already be able to give a more or less perfect analysis of the percentage of the visitors who actually wear glasses when the movie theater is full. That's something where quantum computing is really great, and the reason for that is because it's taking into account not just black and white or 0 and 1. It's also having this, I don't remember the term. There is a term for it where an information can be either or. In that case, either black or white, or either 0 or white. And connected with all the other information, it might kind of flip to one side or the other side. But in calculating or hacking cryptography, that's a precise thing. There is only one solution to the private key. There is not multiple solutions available for private key. And for this, the quantum computing today, as it is today, is not good enough, because they would need to, I think they called it not error correction, but there is a term they use, something like error correction, and they need more quantum bits or whatever to do that. And basically, in the next 5 to 10 years, I literally don't see any threat to cryptography coming from that. I don't want Radek, $4.99. Peter Kobe, your remark, the only remark you have is that you think for the first time Ripple is very specific, talking about 2 years before going live. I tell you again, it's not a report about Ripple, it's about how those bankers see stuff going live. But there is basically all those banks already on RippleNet, they're freaking progressive. they're like they're, I mean, assuming we'd have enough liquidity, they might be, let me quickly pull they might be already in phase 6 boosting with digital assets. I mean, that, let me quickly check on YouTube. How many videos from Swell they uploaded. Because there is one video which might not be totally interesting regarding XRP, but it will show no, they didn't upload that one. There was one guy talking about that's actually quite a shame how few videos from Swell were actually uploaded. But there was one session with the CEO of DBS Bank. Don't ask me from which country. Something Southeast Asia, Thailand, I don't know, somewhere there. Sorry. And he basically, that CEO basically explained how they started. I think it was about 4 years ago, turning their bank, which has, I don't know, about 20 to 25,000 employees in that region. I'm not sure if it's a global bank. That they basically involved all those 25,000 employees and started to get digital. And as a result of that, he said, basically 4 years ago it would kind of have been impossible to offer a mobile application to do e-banking. Today they can get that done in less than half a year, like depending on the service in a few weeks even. And I think he said the only thing which is not really yet top-notch technology are a few mainframe computers which are still running on premise, meaning running in their house somewhere, but they're trying to plan to move those to the cloud. Like Mike usually freaks out when he hears SAP Cloud. SAP S4 HANA, I think it's called. Something like that. And once they do that, they will be able to publish new financial tools and products way more quickly. And the same thing actually is true for banks who have like software from Finastra and Temenos. I really recommend you guys follow Temenos and Finastra tweets. It's really interesting. Sometimes there come like 4 or 5 tweets in a day, and then for 2 weeks not one. But they have really, really interesting information they tweet out. And that's basically what I'm talking, or what this Flywheel report is talking about. It's not talking about Ripple as such. It's really just a sentiment. But this sentiment is like, how do you call it, an average. And for sure there are respondents who are way advanced in this Flywheel. I hope that clears that, Peter. Please don't worry about that Flywheel report. It's really just a global sentiment of the blockchain in, how was it called? Blockchain in payments report. Superposition. Thank you, Geo XRP. The superposition is either or, yeah, or both. Manuel, I don't think. I mean, the pending, sorry, or the impending, I don't know the proper word, like the crisis many people think may come upon the dollar, for surely might help XRP get a boost more quickly, and actually if it's done before the crisis come, actually prevent the crisis. But honestly speaking, I don't think one depends on the other, but surely banks using XRP will not help get rid of the crisis, but will help reduce it. Basically, Manuel, watch the video from Ripple, from the Swell, the keynote with this guy. I still have the page open. His name was Raghuram Rajan. Watch his video again. He basically, I think it was maybe even in the answer to Brett Kimes' question, I think it was towards the end of his present day, or his, I don't know, fireside chat, whatever it was. He talked about the global risk of actual crisis happening, and he basically stated that he sees less risk than a year or two ago. Could be that they're taking into account that those payment rails are already changing. I don't know. Kevin Patterson, totally right. Thank you, Robert. Starkey 007 is thinking that we could see already some all-time high this year. I support that totally. Hi Pablo. Is Jose, what was his name? There was one guy who I need to call out on the live stream. He kind of paid me virtual $4.99 for me to call out to him, but I don't remember his name. I think it was let me check. His name was for the next minute. No, not running. His name was Ian Gracias. Shout out to him. So with that, I have done that. Okay, that's basically, I mean, what I wanted to cover today. This Flywheel and this other thing, this tweet from this ISO XRP regarding Jay Clayton's statement. A tweet Junglink retweeted, and I think there is too much FOMO going into that tweet, because as I said, domestically XRP is not needed. Its current ILP is totally enough. It could be any other settlement system with central bank digital money, which would make it even easier for integration between the different domestic real-time gross settlement systems, because then you would just need to integrate the central banks. Like when two countries have real-time gross settlement systems based on central bank money, like it's in the EU, and like Fed now wants to do it. Basically, you just need to integrate the two central banks, and that's all. and all banks will be able to profit from that. That's the cool thing. RippleNet can connect payment systems. Hey Monty, you disappoint me. 10 years, never. I told many times about that. I mean, why? I quick recap. The current system, I have to do the math. The current system is 1.6 also trillion, billion, million, thousand. Also das sind Millionen, Milliarden, also nochmal 3 Nullen. And using XRP could save them 40% of that. That's 640 billion they could save year after year. If you go to UBS, maybe the biggest bank in Switzerland, and tell them we can increase your profit from 4 billion to 5 billion by using XRP, that's like a 25% higher profit. Don't you think they would do that? I mean, they could invest in other financial products. That'll be huge. Banks are greedy. Why do you think there are so many NDAs and no one really can talk about the XRP? Because we have to wait another 5 years. Surely no. I refuse to accept that. Robert FP, well, I don't think that most of the Ripple employees will turn into multimillionaires. I'm pretty sure only the top management might receive a bonus or maybe even their salary in XRP. We know that David Schwartz decided to receive cash as salary. But like this Reinhard Kate, this guy who makes the Ripple Drop videos, I'm pretty sure maybe he gets his yearly bonus in XRP, but that won't be like millions. And I mean, one thing, and in that respect, digital asset investor and Brad Kimes were correct in their swell reports. Ripple, the company, is really a huge family. They really care. I met one guy where I didn't kind of get that feeling, but every other Ripple person I saw, talk to, you really get the feeling they're not in for it for the money. They're really in for it because they know it will improve our world. I mean, for sure there might be some who might leave Ripple. I really don't know. Nazario Parisi, Swift, I'm pretty sure will never be using XRP directly. For that, their system, I think, is just not flexible enough. Could be maybe via Swift GPI, because they have some APIs. But as a matter of fact, I mean, you have to see one thing. Swift is just the payment and not the settlement. The settlement today is a different rail. And Ripple does both in the same step. That's why it's called real-time gross settlement system. And I even have my question marks around the Corda settler being, I mean, for sure he will be able to settle in XRP. But a question no one could answer so far is how can they hide whom transacted with whom? And because it's a public ledger, I would not send, if I were UBS and I need to do a payment to Deutsche Bank about 500 million, I would not do that on Corda settler if everyone could see this huge amount being moved. I mean, they would, like, within 2 days they would track it back to UBS and Deutsche Bank, and they don't want that, and that's the reason why we have ODL, because the banks literally don't touch XRP. And by the way, this new regulation coming in all those countries, in EU, in United States, still I don't have a confirmation if that's really correct, that there will be a similar law activated, I don't know how it's called in English, in 1st of January 2020, which basically helps them hold and custody also crypto assets in general. That would basically totally make it possible for my hunch I had about a year ago already, that the CLS member banks may play the market makers. Yeah. Going a check, dissolving Nostros will need some time, because it's usually kind of like, I don't remember the term, it's like a credit, and that's usually a contract with a duration. Polysign, that's a good question, Tom. As I really don't know. I'm pretty sure it has to do with custody service for digital assets for banks. But what it really will be, I have no clue. Ahmed Bentaleb, 50k will for sure make you a millionaire in 2 years, a multi-millionaire. And there are some sorry, there are some comments regarding micropayments. I mean, those who follow me on Twitter, I don't remember in which context, but I tweeted it kind of a present, like, I don't know what it was. Stephen Thomas was talking, he was explaining stuff about ILP, and then he was telling that he was talking to a banker once, and he was talking about micropayments, and the banker was also talking about micropayments. And then after a while, Stephen Thomas figured, I think we're not talking about the same thing. And then he asked the banker guy, what is a micropayment for you? And then the banker said everything below $10,000. And I mean, but we don't know what, when David Schwartz says micropayments will be the future, maybe he's meaning the micropayments from the banks. I mean, I don't know how powerful it is and how it really works, because that's something I don't understand quite yet technically. If you stream a large amount, let's say 50 million, and you stream it in $10,000 pieces, those micropayments, then you still would need to buy XRP in the value of 50 million. And because that process is quite a fast process, you would need to buy the XRP in the value of 50 million at once. But then I don't know how long it would take to settle all those 10k packages across the whatever ILP or Ripple net. And the thing they're targeting more those micropayments is each connector in ILP has to put aside the same amount of value which he assumes or which he will receive from the sender. Let's say I send 50 million to the States, and there is one connector in between. That connector needs to put aside this 50 million as well, and that's a high risk, because it's like a super I don't know, super fast Nostro, if you so want. But if you move these 50 millions in $10,000 chunks, then the connector has only to put in escrow until he receives the next portion, $10,000, and that reduces his risk quite a lot. Now, how they can make sure that those 50 millions came to the receiver, that I honestly don't know. I mean, basically with streaming, that's always how I understood, but I could figure that out a little bit. I mean, with streaming you cannot control what arrives. I mean, if you don't have sound or image from me now in the live stream, I honestly don't know. There is no control over that. Your browser just receives data, because it's different from the HTTP protocol. It's a streaming protocol. And now, let's assume let's go back to these 50 million payments. Let's assume like 200 of those 10k payments you have sent. And all of a sudden, I don't know, something happens and the rest of the payments you cannot send through. I mean, what happens now with those 200 payments which have gone through already? Who is taking care that you receive them back? Or this is a question I still don't quite understand. But be careful with these micropayments. I'm not so sure if when David Schwartz talks about micropayments he means sub-cent payments. Could be that he means these sub 10k payments. Manuel is asking if XRP is done for micropayments. Actually, I mean, because the cost for a payment is so low, it can be totally well be used for micropayments. However, I noticed on XRP Tipbot the payments from ILP, from my cinnamon videos and such, are not streamed. And this is something I don't quite understand. It's like Cinnamon receives the payment from those viewers who watch my videos, and then I don't know, once a day or once a week they do one bulk transaction to my account. I really don't know how it works. But I know where you're trying to get to, Manuel. If what will happen to micropayments if XRP will have 4 digits? Honestly, I don't know, but there may be other alternatives, other coins who are really cheap and have little to none transaction cost. Xpool, Ralph Raymond, I don't know. Ethan Beard made fun of me when I asked him that during Swell. Content consumer. Once XRP, I don't know if it'll already be totally stable in the 2-digit areas, but definitely when we reach 3 digits, you will not see 5% drops anymore. Definitely not. Geo XRP, no. Swift will never buy Ripple. I don't think so. I mean, you also have to see Swift is doing not just payments. They, like, half of their messages are other messages. I don't know, like letter of credits and stuff. I could see Swift slowly fading away by RippleNet taking over the payment settlement stuff, and solutions like Marco Polo and Voltron from R3 taking over the other part. That I could very well see happening. Manuel is asking regarding the Shane Ellis theory. If they wanted to move, well, the problem is, if they wanted to move the XRP price to, basically, he calls it the working Arbeitswert, the working value, the value XRP literally needs in order to be able to transact high value payments. I think, and I tried to differentiate that in the past a little bit, liquidity is not just a high price. Liquidity is also, and for this reason, this pay burner initiative with Ripple involved, where musicians can sell their songs, basically they will receive the full money, like something like Coil or Cinnamon, but from music. And the more such the more such other uses are being taken care of on the XRP ledger, the more liquid XRP will get. I don't know if he's here online. I received this from a dear follower, I think from Austria, from Bernd. Don't get me wrong, Bernd, but let's assume I'm just needing some something to show. Let's assume I would sell this for $10,000. No one would buy it. And just because it has a high price doesn't make it liquid. It would only be a liquid item at that price if you need that thing to, I don't know, make coffee for 10 years or so at home. Then everyone would buy such a thing for $10,000 for free coffee for 10 years. And the more such use cases we have, the more desired XRP is and the more liquid is. But regarding the cost of the high price increase, Manuel, that can change basically any time, and as I explained in the Shane Ellis theory, that depends on the exchanges. That's not dependent on the current price. And this is really important to understand. The high value payments need a high volume going through. Just a high XRP price will need a high volume of high value payments going through. It cannot be that we have an XRP price at 4 digits and only 2 payments, about 50 million, go through the system per day. Then the price will crash. It needs to be like in Swift or Tips or Target 2, like every few seconds such a payment. Brad Hart, yes, they really need to free up Nostros. Because it's not just the cost, it's also the hassle. I mean, it's a freaking administrative fight with regulatory departments to maintain those Nostros and Rostros. And because it's not money in your country, you cannot even put it on the plus side in your Bilanz, in your, how's that called in English? This I don't know the English term, Sollenthaben. I cannot give a confidence level to $5 by year end, Gio. I don't give any price predictions. I just, since about 10 days, have a feeling that it'll not take too much longer. Ralph Raymond, Coil is already today, I don't know, like I think 2019 they made 1 billion payments. So there is quite a lot going on there already. Ralph Raymond, exactly. ODL usage will spike exponentially once they can act as exchanges and offer custodial services. And that's why I think this new regulations coming is important. But I want to repeat, it's not, these regulations are not important to use XRP as such. It's just, hallo Sonja, meine Liebe, it's just used to make XRP liquid, and for high value payments we need a high value liquid XRP. But for micropayments this regulation never was really required. Yes, Jackass, I have talked about that already. It's don't FOMO in this video. Perpendicular. I don't know, butterfly trader, maybe. Toby Yogi, I don't know why I have this feeling since 10 days. There's I don't know. It's like I really cannot explain it, but unfortunately I had that feeling already in last December, maybe late November last year, and twice this year, I think end of March and somewhere around early June or so I had a similar feeling, and we have seen nothing really has happened. I really don't know, Bart Jans. I cannot. I think in less than 7 months we will see high figures. Going at Jackal, well, because the regulation is not yet in place. It starts 1st of January 2020. Guys, is it okay if we close down a little bit early today? My voice is starting getting a bit balance sheet. Thank you, Butterfly Trader. Manuel, your micropayments is really a theme which you're hogging on. I don't know. Could be that XLM will take over, but I mean, the money is not being made with micropayments. The money is being made with everything. And I mean, even okay, micropayments you might not work anymore, but sending $1 to, I don't know, Vietnam to your mother might still be worth, even at 4 digits. So for those kind of payments, I literally don't see a problem. Actually, Giorgio, my wife has this feeling since about 2 weeks now that she thinks we're not far away, and I mean, she's not into XRP. I tell her stuff, but I mean, she has just a high level overview. Okay, then last question, and if no question is coming, I will say I'm sorry. I really need to go and have some sleep. I hope that until Thursday my voice and my physical thing is being better and I don't need to cough so much. I want to apologize for that. I want to thank you guys for your continuous trust and perseverance to stick with me. I will put that link to the Jungling tweet, and maybe if I find the link to this Flywheel into the description of the video, but maybe tomorrow only, not today anymore. And with that, I wanna say goodbye and see you soon. Something administrative. 24th of December, I won't make live stream, it's Christmas. 26 in, I think would be the German live stream if I remember properly. I'm not sure yet, depends a little bit, but I will announce that if I do or not. And then in the week from the 5th to the 11th, I will be in the Swiss mountains of January. In that first full January week, there will also be no live streams. Take care. Bye bye. Danke Butterfly and all the others for get well. I'm sorry for my coughing all the time.